You know who I would put the title on? The woman that just debuted in NXT and transitioning to our fifth question. Jordynne Grace would be my Intercontinental Champion. Andy, why? I know this was a big splash at Vengeance Day, and we're going to talk about the other big splash debut in just a minute in NXT. But we are sitting here racking our brain on the main roster women's division as to who should be these champions. And you have a huge superstar coming in from TNA, and you bring her to NXT where you already have a star. Look, Stephanie Vakir and Julia right there dominating the scene. Obviously, Roxanne Perez is probably headed to the main roster, so maybe you need to fill that void. But why put Jordynne Grace in NXT as she's already established in the Rumble and the main roster people know who she is?
Yeah, I think one, it's to get Jordynne Grace. It's a good way to keep her off Mania because they probably didn't have any plans for her. So I'm not necessarily mad with that. Honestly, if we go to what's the NXT show? Stand and Deliver. I think that's the one that's WrestleMania weekend.
Yes, it is.
If we go there and get a triple threat of Jordynne Grace versus Stephanie Vakir versus Julia, that is match of the weekend. Like, I can tell you that right now. That's probably match of the weekend because that's the women's division is fine in the next 5 years. Like the women's division is going to continue to get better and better and better. I think this is a short stint for Jordynne Grace post WrestleMania, the Raw after Mania. I think you can have Lyra Valkyria do an open challenge. Who answers it? Jordynne Grace, 2-minute match. Jordan squashes her as champ, and we move forward.
I mean, that's what I would do right now. But again, I don't have the book, unfortunately. The other big splash,
Jordynne Grace to win the Rumble. So.
I would. That is true, and I stand by that.
Roxanne had the Jordan spot.
I know, unfortunately. Can you imagine if that Rumble would have come down to Charlotte and Jordynne Grace? The place would have went nuts.
That would have been great.
Again, I stand by that. All right, the other big splash debut in NXT this week. 2 days, if that, after his contract expired, Absolute Ricky Starks, well, at least we think that's what his name is going to be, shows up in NXT and makes a big splash, Andy. My goodness, this dude, I'm going to say it right now. I think Ricky Starks rises higher and faster in NXT than Ethan Page did. And that's saying something because he was real fast.
Yeah. I don't know if he's going to have a segment with The Rock, but he'll definitely get. My only question is, what is his name? We don't know what his. They have intentionally not said his name the entire week. Every video he's posted.
I think it has to be Ricky Starks. I think that's what. I think he's going to come out because he's got a live mic this week.
It's not a contract. Yeah.
I think he comes out and he says, "My name is Absolute Ricky Starks," and the place is going to go nuts, or what have you. I don't know.
Yeah, it's the perfect place for him. I think it's a great place for him, much like Sean Spears, much like Ethan Page. I think AEW was good for those three guys to rejuvenate their career, especially like a Sean Spears. I think it was great for them to get out there, to be with some of the best, to do their thing. But now they can go to NXT and really hone in on what they're able to do. Yep. To the point where I'm like, in 3 years, I'm ready for the Ricky Starks versus Cody Rhodes match because that's 1,000% going to happen very quickly, very soon, as soon as he gets called up to the main roster. The other question is, though, how long until Malachi Black shows up? And does Miro show up in WWE? Because I don't think it's a given that Miro shows up.
I'd put Miro in NXT. I really would.
Oh, no.
Like, I think it would be cool for him to go to, look, you go down and have him in like a Samoa Joe type spot in NXT. I think that could be really, really cool.
Could you imagine post WrestleMania, the Raw after Mania, let's say Cena's champ in the middle of the ring and Rusev's music hits and walks out? The place would go crazy for that.
Yeah.
Because they have a long history together, especially at WrestleMania. Not even saying they have to face each other. I just think it's a great way to get Rusev back on.
Because of the TNA relationship, the place would only go crazy if Aiden English came out and did the Rusev Day entrance.
Yes.
And then the place would go nuts. I think the Raw after Mania is Malachi Black. I think that's where we get him. I
Yeah.
don't think they rush him before then. I think maybe you do vignettes,
point in
maybe you
putting him
tease,
on
maybe
right
you
now.
don't. There's no need right now.
Yeah.
We're just sitting here talking about how stacked the card is and all that kind of stuff. Like I don't think there's any need to put Malachi in there right now.